Hi, this is Harish here. Welcome to DB2 LUW Tips and Tricks video tutorial part 152. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the DBCFG parameter extended row size. The question that we're trying to answer here is, does the benefit of extended row size outweigh the LOB overhead that comes along with the extended row size handling? Now, the scripts that I'm using, the data files that I'm using are freely available for download at db2lewacademy.blogspot.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/db2lewacademy. Now this slide talks about the problem scenario and the use case. So the problem scenario is we have a DBCFG. I think it is DBCFG. Yeah, it should be DBCFG parameter extended row size, and it is enabled by default in newer versions. So I'm like lazy, like I don't know when it was introduced. I think maybe it is 10.1 or so, but I'm not sure. But in any case, if you are in the latest versions, it will be enabled by default. Now the feature or the benefit of that extended row size, when you look at like at a surface level, it is convenience. For example, if you create a table, so that table goes into a table space, and that table space belongs to a page size, and the buffer pool also should match the page size. Now if there are rows inside a table which are not fitting the row size, like every table has its own row size. For example, you can just count the number of bytes, like various columns you can take. One is integer, small integer will take 4 bytes. Like that, you can just add like the character strings, the varchar, whatever you're defining, right? Like decimal, everything will consume some bytes. So if you look at the summation of all the columns bytes, it should be like within 4096. I think I would say 4000. So because there are certain internal areas where you cannot store, right? So a 4K page size, if you create a table space with 4K page size, it can only house tables that has the row size which is less than that. So this particular feature, extended row size, which is enabled by default, gives you the ability to put the table in a 4K page size even if the row size is greater than 4K individual row size. So how they are doing it is by means of treating those additional rows or additional columns as LOB columns. So internally they are considered as LOB columns, which is real overhead. Now LOB, we all know that the LOB insert or the LOB read is going to happen using direct reads or direct writes, which is like disk IO. So they will bypass the buffer pool IO, which is the whole point of having a buffer pool, right? So now the question becomes whether the benefit outweighs the LOB overhead that comes associated with enabling the extended row size. Now I find that there is a particular use case example. There can be more examples, so please let me know. Please put in your comments in the description, or like put in the comment section, like if there are any other any other scenarios you find, which is really helpful. But this is one example I find in my limited knowledge. Like particularly if you are having like 100,000 rows, right, of data in a table, and only 1,000 rows are exceeding the page size limit, which is like 4096 bytes for a 4K, right? So in that kind of a scenario, currently if you don't have that feature, you will have to put that table in an 8K page size, which is like you just want to move to a higher page size just because of those 1,000 rows, right? So if your data rows are really less than 10% of the rows, 10% is just like a random number I'm throwing here, but it could be anything. So I don't know, but definitely if it is really less when compared to the total volume of records, it helps a lot. And it should not be accessed or modified frequently, obviously because of the LOB overhead. So in your table, if you find that there are a lot of there are very less amount of rows which are violating the row size greater than the page size constraint, then you can just put this feature and you can like go live with the LOB overhead, because it prevents you from putting the table into a higher page size, which can itself consume a performance hit. Like for example, let's say the row size is 4500 for only like 1000 rows. So and there are like 99,000 rows which are like within the page limit, right? So just for the sake of those 1,000 rows, you have to put the entire table in 8K page size, which means if we do a default calculation of extent size, it is 32. So 32 pages of 8K will become 256K of extent IO. In terms of extent IO, it will cost you 256 kilobytes, right? 256K. Whereas if it is 4K, it will cost you only 128K. And major portion of the data reads or writes are happening on the 4K rows, right? They are not happening on the row size which are having 8K. So in that scenario, definitely it makes sense to use this feature. And another thing is like because you are moving the entire table into 8K, which is like a bigger page size, you cannot really fit more than one row, because if it is 4,500, say for example, so any case 9,000 pages only, right? So it cannot. So it can hold only one record of 4,500 rows per page. So you will have to do a lot of disk IO if you are not if you are doing a lot of if you are creating the tables in 8K page size, you might end up creating a lot of blank pages, or like it's not 100% blank, but it will be like a half filled page. If there are more rows which are like around that 4,000, bordering that 4,000 limit, then you cannot really put more than 2 rows in a page, right? So then that's also that. For that purpose, what it will do is it will put it in the another page, which means that you will have to do a lot of IO from the disk to the buffer pool. When you move it as one extent, you will be moving 256K rather than moving 128K. That, and also in terms of page size, in terms of the table page occupation, right? Like how many pages your table spans. So if you put it in 4K, I think it will be like jam-packed, and maybe you can do some reargs and make it jam-packed. But that is not a possibility if you're using 8K. You will find a lot of pockets, empty pockets. So you might end up having more number of pages to store the same amount of data. And also, the extent IO is also costlier because you have to read. If you read instead of reading one page, you have to read 2 pages. Right, you might end up in that kind of a scenario, which is a very rare scenario, but I think this use case example makes more sense, wherein you can when you can segregate the rows into only very less amount of rows are exceeding the 4K page size, then it makes sense. So let's just give you a demonstration of that. As usual, with every video I give you the demonstration. So here also we'll do the same thing. So if you look at here, so I have already connected to the database, and this is the example that I'm talking about. So I'll be creating a table. So if you look at this table, it has ID integer, not null, and primary key is really important because it will reduce the access time, or it won't do a full table scan. And name is 300 characters, salary integer, like that. So if you look at here, I have like a varchar of 3000. This is 500, this is 500, this is 500, this is 500, this is 750. So I have created this table in such a manner that it will occupy like a single row. If it is like fully given, it will occupy like 5600, around like that. Okay, so let me just quickly copy that and create the table here. Okay, and I'm putting it in user space 1, which is like the default, so which is like 4K. Okay, so it will violate the row size, right? Okay, so I have created the table. So I don't know why I'm doing this. So I'll just run that query. So as of now, no records are there, but the idea is like you can use this monget table to understand what is happening in terms of inserted rows and deleted rows and stuff like that. So you can see that the direct reads are not happening, the direct writes are not happening, no rows are inserted, no rows are read, etc. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll run this not exceeding.sql. Okay. So what is that not exceeding.sql is doing? I'll show you that. So it is again a file. Okay. Not exceeding.sql. So here I have created, like I insert into exceed and I give some values here. So 1000, 1000, 2010, and here I have chosen like the value such that I'm giving like those various definitions, right? Like what do you call, like the name column, the ID column, the net salary column, the remarks column. So I am choosing to give, like if it is 500, I'll give only 400 characters. If it is 3000, I'll give only 2000 characters. So I have prepared the script like that. So this will not exceed the row limit of 4096. So these set of records. So when I insert this set of records, so you will see that, so I'm not exceeding, I'm running the not exceeding thing. So you saw that 10 rows got inserted, but none of them were doing a direct read. It should do direct writes, so there's no direct writes happening, right? But I have also prepared another file which is like exceeding.sql. Okay, so this will obviously contain the data which is like exceeding. So for example, I'll show you the same thing. So exceeding.sql. So you can see that, see, the comments is really huge, the remarks is really huge, the description is really huge. So I have like given a very huge records. So this starts from 101, 102 up to 110. Okay, so this will violate the row size. Okay, so this, I have prepared the script that way. So let's run that exceed.sql now, exceeding.sql. So you will see that now there is a direct write. See, now 20 rows got inserted because first we inserted 10, now again the next 10. So you can see the direct writes are happening. So every time this exceeding is ran, you will see direct writes are happening. And even if you read from the table now, so for example, that's where the primary key comes in. So if I read from the table, and if I read like 1001, 1002, 1003, which are like within the row size limits, it will not perform a direct read. So like you can see that. So I've just selected. So 3 rows have been selected. So you should see rows read as 3, but no direct reads. Okay. For some reason, I don't know, it's doing that direct reads. Okay, let's check that. Yeah, okay, it did read 23 rows. I think maybe, I don't know, it's not, maybe it's not going through the primary key or something. So maybe the first time it is doing that. Okay, so let's run it again. Like let's run the same query again. Okay, let's see it stopped at that 80 direct reads in spite of reading 3 more rows here, right? Okay, maybe it is doing for the first time and it's not doing thereafter. Okay, so I'll read it again so you can see. Okay, it's the direct reads are stuck at 80, right? But the rows read are keeping on incrementing, right? So from 29 it should become 32. Yes, but the direct reads are just there. So this is one important thing. But if you do the same thing by selecting like 101, 102, 103, so this will definitely exceed, these ID values definitely exceed the row size, so it will perform direct reads. So you should do, like, you should look like direct reads. So 32 is the rows read, so it should become 35, and the direct reads should increment. There you go. So every time I read something which is violating, so for example 106, 107 and 108, this is violating the row size. And if I look at demand get read, direct reads are getting higher, right? But if I read it from the non-violating things, right, like the 1007, 1008 and 1009. Okay, let me see, 1007, 1008, 1009 are there. I think it should be there in the not exceeding. Yeah, 1007, 1008, 1009 are there. Okay, so let's go there. 1007, 1008, 1009. So the direct reads will stop at 128. Rows read should be 38, 41, right? There you go. So now it will become 44. Okay, I did that again. 44 rows read, but still the direct reads is just 128, right? And I can even like pick up some other things. So 1006, 1005, 1004. So this is where the primary key is important, because it goes through the primary key, and it will not involve any direct reads. So 47 and should be greater than 128. Oh, it should not be greater than 128 because I'm reading the valid ones. So if I read the exceeding ones, it will go like say 106, 105 and 104, right? So these are the exceeding records. So it should become 50 and direct read should be greater than 128. There you go. It should become 50 and direct read. So depending on the row which you are selecting, and if you have that primary key and the access plan supports that, there is a possibility that you will reduce the direct reads because your major portion of the table that you are accessing are within that, you're only accessing those rows which are not violating the row size. And if you are violating the row size, then it will do direct reads. Or even if it is an insert, it will do direct write. So that is the tip that I wanted to provide. This is only like a one single use case. Hope there is more use cases like that. That's the tip that I wanted to provide, and please do comment if you find any other use case which makes sense for that scenario. See you in the next video tutorial. Until then, bye bye.